Hello, welcome back to Fluent Thai. Sawadee krab. Let's learn Thai from zero to fluent. And before I continue, I would like to clarify and define what I mean by fluent. Because some people have this idea that being fluent or fluency, it has to be absolute perfection in the language, or you can only be fluent if you're a native and if you're born in the country that uses the language. Now, to be fair, obviously being a native, you have a massive advantage, but it depends what level of fluency and kind of fluency you're talking about. I'm going to go into this in more detail when I finish the whole beginner course, but I just want to say there are different kinds of fluency. There's contextual fluency, situational fluency. For example, a market vendor selling fruit only needs to know enough vocabulary and phrases to sell her fruit and take questions and answer questions, and that's enough for her, isn't it? There's age-related fluency, so we wouldn't say a 5-year-old child is not fluent in their language. I mean, he obviously doesn't know as many words as an adult, but to say, oh, he's not fluent, well, the fluency depends on what age you are. So he's still learning, he's still practicing, and he's fluent in as much as that's how much vocabulary he knows, and that's how much vocabulary he needs to use. So for me, when I'm talking about zero to fluent, my level of fluent is knowing at least a core 3,000 vocabulary. So having the most commonly known words memorized, along with having a good grasp of the grammar and a wide range of phrases and sentences at your disposal, being able to articulate and explain yourself in pretty much most daily life situations. That's what I mean by fluent. So I'll explain a bit more, but I just wanted to quickly clarify that, because you're going to get people who, for whatever reason, will try to say, oh, you can't do it, you're not fluent. And there are millions of people in this world who teach another language. There's nothing inherently impossible about it. A language is a subject. It's no different than math or learning science. Nobody owns maths or science. Nobody owns the right to be fluent in the language either. It's just something you practice and you can get really good at. Okay, so a reminder, this is 20 courses, 3 levels, and another quick point for some people who comment about not enjoying my introductions. There are timestamps, my dear friend. There are timestamps. You can click the timestamps to go to the lesson you like. I understand that every time I do a video, I make an introduction because some of you are newcomers. I want to introduce the course, introduce the channel. By all means, if you want to skip, just skip it. You know, I'm just doing this for those of you who like it. Some people just like watching me blabber on and keep going on, and it's just an informal setting. But if you're in a rush to get to the content, use the timestamps, my friend. Okay, and please just be polite in the comments. 99% of you are, but I don't know what it is. There's some kind of like YouTube privilege syndrome of people who think that they just have to leave all courtesy behind and can just type whatever they want in comments. Anyway, we are on course 5. Well done to all of you who have been diligently learning. I actually already tried to record this video a few days ago, and I pretty much lost my voice doing it. I don't know what it is, but I have to pace myself when talking because I get really into talking. So I have prepared a massive bucket of hot water, so just excuse me a second. Okay. Let me just remind myself to pace myself and try to not wear my voice down so much. Okay, so we have done 4 courses already. We're going to continue with course 5. on sentences, basic sentences. So again, this is a free channel. The PDF for the PowerPoints are free. Best way you can support me, you know the drill. Like, share, comment. If you like what I'm doing, help me out here. If I ever reach the threshold and you'd like to support me, not that you have to, if you want to, then go ahead. There's payment links as well for those of you who'd like to. Also start a Patreon, help free up some time for me to allocate to do this specifically. I would like to give a call out to Mr. Kevin Cooker or Coca, please. If I'm not saying your surname right, just tell me. Anyway, big thanks to you. Any support helps me in allocating more time to make these videos, because I just do this in my free time because I want to. And if you are wanting to help me, I appreciate that too. All right, course 5, we're here. All right, for those of you who skipped, yes, we're here already. For those of you who watched the whole introduction, I appreciate it. All right, basic sentences. So I've prepared 20 common daily life subjects, but also relevant to grammar that you need at this level. And we're just gonna go through all 20. And the same way that we practice vocabulary is the way that we will practice sentences. So I've given you the Thai, there's English obviously below, and we've got an illustration again to support, enhance the learning process. So it's the same method as we did with vocabulary, right? So I won't bother saying this again. Just I've formatted the PowerPoint slides so that for those of you who download the PDF, you can print out like flashcard style, cards basically, or paper. So, I mean, for those of you who really want to make the most out of this course, by all means, take this to a printer shop if you're here in Thailand, or if you can, try and print it on some nice card. Maybe, I think, split the A4 into 4. I think that'd be a good size, right, in landscape. And just try to practice doing the flashcards every day. You've already got a vocabulary set from course 4. This is course 5, right? So now you're gonna start adding more flashcards with sentences. As for the format of this video, same as the vocabulary, basically. I'm just gonna try to quickly go through any pronunciation explanations along with the meanings, and then we'll do some repetition practice. Last time I did this, I took like an hour, 1 hour just to do 5 units. I've got 20, so I'm gonna try and be so much quicker because I spent way too long explaining. Okay, anyway, how are you? Hope everything is well in your life. Okay, let's go. So hello, what's your name? When we're talking about these flashcards and the sentences, obviously you do remember that in Thai, at the end of the sentence, we should be adding the polite particle krap for a man, and ka or ka if it's a question for a woman. But in order to save space on these slides and the flashcards, I'm not including them. I've only included here just so that I remember to make the point of it. But obviously, when you are practicing these flashcards, just remember in real life, try to say the word krap or ka at the end of your sentences. Okay, so just to be aware of that. Okay, let's have a look here. So first thing you can notice is that they're not using the same structure as in English. In English, we're using the possessive my. In Thai, they're literally just saying I name Chris. So the same again, they say his, but they're just saying he named what. So they're not using the possessive. Because Thai does have a specific possessive, which would be like ของผม or ของเขา but in Thai they're not doing that, alright? For saying how old are you, you're literally saying คุณอายุเท่าไหร่ which is you age what, or you age how much, different than English. And when you answer, you would say I age อายุ and then say your age, and then use the word ปี which means years. If a child aged 0 to 12, they don't use the word ปี years. They use another word for years, I guess, which is the word ขวบ in the low tone. So that's คอไข่วอแหวนบอใบไม้. I didn't write it here, but I just want to mention it. So under 12 years old, they say ขวบ. Well, I guess this one should have been ขวบ, but it's kind of like, it's not, I don't think anybody really knows the specific limit. I asked my wife and she was like, yeah, 12. So I guess I should change this to ขวบ, but I mean, it's fine to say ปี all of the time, to be honest, but just be aware they do have a specific word for younger. Okay, just adjusting my ear here. Where do you come from? คุณมาจากประเทศไหน? So literally you come from country which. There are other ways you could say this. You could say คุณเป็นคนจากที่ไหน, which is you to be person from where. They might also say what nationality are you, which is like คุณเป็นชาติอะไร. So there's variations of this question. So you answer with the same format, and that's lesson 1. Okay, that was a lot quicker than what I did last time. Okay, so let's do some repetition. Let me just have a drink here. Here we go. I'll say the Thai. I'll say the English once, and then we'll say the Thai twice. Hello, what's your name? สวัสดีครับ คุณชื่ออะไร? I'm gonna try and remember to say ครับ, even though I haven't written it, but be aware that I might also forget to say the word ครับ because I haven't written it, and we should say it. Alright, one more time. สวัสดีครับ คุณชื่ออะไรครับ? Hello, my name is Chris. สวัสดีครับ ผมชื่อ Chris. You can say your name. สวัสดีครับ ผมชื่อ Chris. What's his name? เขาชื่ออะไรครับ? เขาชื่ออะไรครับ? Be aware that เขา could also be her. So it just depends on the context. If you really wanted to be specific, but I didn't really say this in everyday life, you could say Lon. Or even เธอ เธอชื่ออะไร? I mean, often เธอ is also you, informal, but it can also mean her. Next one, his name's John. เขาชื่อ John. เขาชื่อ John. How old are you? คุณอายุเท่าไหร่ครับ? Kun ayu taurai krap. I'm trying to read these at quite a normal speed or pace, not too slow, because I think you're ready for some basic sentences at normal speed, right? I'm 12 years old. ผมอายุ12 ปี ผมอายุ12 ปี Where do you come from? คุณมาจากประเทศไหนครับ คุณมาจากประเทศไหนครับ I come from Thailand. I'm Thai. ฉันมาจากประเทศไทย ฉันเป็นคนไทยค่ะ It's kind of weird for me to say the word ค่ะ because it's the woman particle, but anyway, one more time. ฉันมาจากประเทศไทยค่ะ ฉันเป็นคนไทยค่ะ All right, let's continue with greeting. So same again, let's have a look first. Hello, how are you? So สวัสดีครับสบายดีไหมครับ So even though there are obviously other ways to say how are you, so เป็นไงบ้าง another common way of saying how are you in Thai is literally have you eaten yet, so they'd say like อ๋อสวัสดีครับกินข้าวยังครับ that's very informal. So you do get some videos which would say like Thai people don't say สบายดีไหม they don't ever say that, like they do say it, okay. It's about context, and I'm sure that the videos who make this kind of title, they do explain about context, but it's kind of misleading when you see the thumbnail or the brief intro. I know they're just trying to get, you know, people to click and stuff, but it does a lot of misunderstanding for those who don't watch the whole video. So it's perfectly fine to say สบายดีไหมครับ it's just very polite. And you can say สบายดีไหมครับ you can say เป็นไงบ้าง which is a bit more informal, and then กินข้าวยัง is very informal. So ideally it's somebody that you do have some kind of close relationship to. I'm going on too much here, sorry. Let's I did this in the last time. I just blabber on so much, sorry. Keep going. I'm well, and yourself? ฉันสบายดีแล้วคุณล่ะ ฉันสบายดีแล้วคุณล่ะ Notice the structure for and blah 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 you. So แล้วละ we often put those together, แล้ว and la. It's kind of the way that we would say and, what about, how about, something. I mean even in English you could add like, well, I'm well, and how about, and what about yourself. So it's that kind of phrase in English, and what about, and how about, when you're responding with another question to a question. Okay. What are you up to now? What are you doing now? ตอนนี้คุณทำอะไรอยู่ we're in the explanation phase. We're not practicing repetition yet, sorry. Okay, so whereas in English we do have two ways to say this, like what are you doing now, what are you up to, you know, ตอนนี้ทำอะไรอยู่ in Thai they specifically usually just say this. You can obviously make this a bit more informal. You could just say, you know, ทำอะไรอะ you know, you don't have to have like ตอนนี้ and คุณ you can and you. So this is a full version, but if you want to make it shorter you could just say ทำอะไรอะ and then you could use like a kind of mood particle at the end. I'm busy working, I'm relaxing, ผมยุ่งทำงานอยู่. Here you'll often see the word you at the end of the sentence. It's just representing the present continuous. It's often paired with กำลัง, right? But so I'm losing my voice already. But you can just use one or the other or both. I think I've explained that before. Where have you been? คุณไปไหนมา? So this is how they represent the past. One version of it is literally just go and then come. Sometimes the by is omitted. You might just have the word ma. So if I said ผมกินข้าวมา, which means I've eaten, you don't always have to have by if you didn't specifically go anywhere. So ma, the word come, ma, like come, it could be used to represent the past. ผมไปโรงเรียนมา. So you see how they put by and then insert what was the action and then ma as like a enclosed phrase. Excuse me, I must go now. ขอโทษผมต้องไปก่อน. You can also shorten the word ขอโทษ. You could just say โทษที. So add the word t and just say โทษที. That's kind of informal way. ผมต้องไปก่อน. Or you can, instead of ก่อน you can say ละผมต้องไปละ. So there's variations of all of these. ไม่เป็นไรค่ะแล้วเจอกัน No problem, see you later. Apart from แล้วเจอกัน, other ways you could say this are you could just delete the แล้ว just say เจอกัน. Or instead of แล้ว you can say why เจอกัน. And if you want to make it a bit more informal, instead of saying ครับ all the time, you can just say นะไว้เจอกันนะ or แล้วเจอกันนะ. That's another way. Okay, let's read Unit 2. Much quicker this time, much quicker. I spent way too long last time. Okay, greetings. Here we go. Hello, how are you? สวัสดีครับ สบายดีไหมครับ สวัสดีครับ สบายดีไหมครับ I'm well, and yourself? Obviously, this is for a woman. I won't make a point of that too much. You might see ผม you might see ฉัน because of the cartoon character, right? ฉันสบายดีค่ะแล้วคุณล่ะ ฉันสบายดีค่ะแล้วคุณล่ะ What you up to now? ตอนนี้คุณทำอะไรอยู่ครับ ตอนนี้คุณทำอะไรอยู่ครับ I'm busy working. I'm relaxing. ผมยุ่งทำงานอยู่ครับ ฉันพักผ่อนอยู่ค่ะ ผมยุ่งทำงานอยู่ครับ ฉันพักผ่อนอยู่ค่ะ Where have you been? คุณไปไหนมาคะ คุณไปไหนมาคะ I have been at school. ผมไปโรงเรียนมาครับ ผมไปโรงเรียนมาครับ Excuse me, I must go now. ขอโทษ ผมต้องไปก่อนครับ ขอโทษ ผมต้องไปก่อนครับ No problem. See you later. ไม่เป็นไรค่ะ แล้วเจอกันค่ะ ไม่เป็นไรค่ะ แล้วเจอกันค่ะ I'm not really used to getting the right tone for ka or ka because I never say it. I hear it. I know the difference, but I'm quite not used to it to saying it. Okay, how are we doing? Unit 3 articles. Oh, my light keeps on getting so dark. Let me do this again. Is that up or down? Oh, that was the wrong way. Okay, I don't know if I'm light enough here, but I'm trying to tolerate the bright light. Unit 3 articles. 17 more to go. We can do it. So the only thing I want to just explain about articles is that Thai doesn't really use articles the same way the English does. As somebody has mentioned, and I also do mention it a few times, is obviously there is a way to represent articles as we do in English. There is a way. I mean, you can make it quite specific that you're saying a singular book, and there is a way of specifying something as we do with the, but for the most part it's all contextually understood. Okay, so with that said, I think we'll just go straight to repetition. Here we go. Do you have a book? คุณมีหนังสือไหมครับ คุณมีหนังสือไหมครับ And another quick mention is the way that you answer questions in Thai is simply by repeating the verb or adjective from the question. So here the verb is me, right? You know, do you have a book? So then we just repeat me or my me as the answer. You don't need to repeat the whole phrase of the question. We don't need to do all of that. It's a lot more simple. You just say me, ไม่มีครับ So the answer would be มีครับ or ไม่มีครับ มีครับ ไม่มีครับ Does he have a pen? เขามีปากกาไหมครับ I keep forgetting ครับ It's a woman. Hold on, let me do the woman article. เขามีปากกาไหมคะ เขามีปากกาไหมคะ And can you guess the answer? เขามีค่ะ I don't know who she's asking here. Maybe the boy's answering. So it could be เขามีครับ or เขาไม่มีครับ And again, you don't have to have the subject. You could just say มีครับ ไม่มีครับ. So I just included the subject for comparison without the subject. Okay, is there a pen on the table? One quick thing that I forgot to explain is that Thai uses the same word for both have or has and is there. So for those of you who teach Thais, this is always something that I have to explain to them, is in English we separate between someone having something and somewhere there is something. So obviously the have can change, but has and had and will have depends on the tense. There could be is there or there is, depending if it's a statement or question, and it could be there are, there were, there was, depends on the auxiliary verb. But the point is that in Thai they're just saying me. So this is why Thai struggle with differentiating, and they'll often just default back to have, which, for example, in this sentence, "Bon tok mi paka mai," they would say, well, not all of them, but for those who haven't learned about it yet, they would say have a pen on the table, and you'd obviously have to teach them it should be is there, because we're talking about somewhere there is rather than someone has something. Okay, anyway, you could also swap this order around. You could say me first. You could say mi paka bon tok mai krap, or like the sentence is, you could say bon tok mi paka mai krap. Both are fine, whereas in English we can't really swap them around. It's a bit awkward. We would always start with is there, and then the answer again, mi krap, mi krap for the answer. The plural is just the same in Thai. It's still me. And to make the plural of child become children, usually they would just repeat the noun. So,ที่นี่มีเด็กๆอยู่ไหมครับ? So we're saying เด็กๆ twice to signify that it's plural. You don't have to, but it is often duplicated to emphasize the plural, but it's not necessary. Depends on the context. And then the answer is me or ไม่มี so ครับ or ค่ะ. Okay, I think that was pretty much enough repetition for that one. Let's continue with possessive. The only thing I really need to explain about possessive is that unlike English, we have to use the possessive form because we have different forms, right? We have I, my, me, mine. In Thai, they do have a specific way of making the possessive, which is the word kong. So if you see that on the second sentence, it says, maybe I can highlight it for you here. Hold on. Let me try and do this. So this word here, you see it? Kong literally means belonging to. Belonging to. Or belongs to. So belongs to I is how they would say my. Now, it isn't always necessary to say it, but it is the correct form if you want to make the possessive obvious. I mean, if I were to just say like, hey, look, this is my brother, I would just say any พี่ชายผม this is my older brother, and in Thai I'm just saying นี่คือพี่ชายผม instead of saying นี่คือพี่ชายของผม I mean, I can say ของผม like นี่คือพี่ชายของผม perfectly fine, but in common speech they often drop the ของ sometimes. Okay, yeah, that's the only thing I wanted to explain about possessive is that point, and just remember the specific word for possessive is ของ. Okay, let's do some repetition again. Okay, here we go. I have a book. It's my book. ผมมีหนังสือมันเป็นหนังสือของผมครับผมมีหนังสือมันเป็นหนังสือของผมครับ I'm actually going to reduce this light a little. It's, a little bit too bright. Okay, I think that's a bit better. All right. ผมมีหนังสือมันเป็นหนังสือของผมครับ You have a pen it's your pen คุณมีปากกามันเป็นปากกาของคุณครับ I keep forgetting ครับคุณมีปากกามันเป็นปากกาของคุณครับ one quick point again well, not again the first time I'm saying it obviously these are just sentences to practice the structure and the meaning of the words it's not like I'm specifically giving you sentences that I know will be good use in everyday life. I mean, the point of this lesson was possessive. I mean, when are you ever going to say to somebody, hey, you have a pen, it is your pen? I mean, probably not. So just obviously be aware, because I know somebody's going to comment like, what a load of rubbish sentence. You think I'm ever going to say to somebody, or like, the main point of these sentences is knowing the words, the meaning of the words, and the structure that they can appear in. That's the main point. So just for those YouTube trolls out there who just try and find some kind of fault with something you do for some reason. Anyway, we have a cat. It's our cat. พวกเรามีแมวมันเป็นแมวของพวกเราพวกเรามีแมวมันเป็นแมวของพวกเรา They have a fish it's their fish พวกเขามีปลาหนึ่งตัวมันเป็นปลาของเขาพวกเขามีปลาหนึ่งตัวมันเป็นปลาของพวกเขา He has a bag it's his bag เขามีกระเป๋ามันเป็นกระเป๋าของเขาเขามีกระเป๋ามันเป็นกระเป๋าของเขา She has a toy it's her toy I'm using the specific pronoun for she lawn but you could just say เขา again in real life right so lawn มีของเล่นมันเป็นของเล่นของลอน It's kind of confusing here because you're using the word ของ twice ของเล่น that means toy so literally belonging to play and then again ของis being used as the possessive for her alright so one more time ลอนมีของเล่นมันเป็นของเล่นของลอน whose book is this หนังสือเล่มนี้เป็นของใครครับ I keep forgetting crap but anyway forgive me หนังสือเล่มนี้เป็นของใครครับ It's my book มันเป็นหนังสือของผมครับมันเป็นหนังสือของผมครับ Alright unit 5 okay we're making quicker time than my previous attempt of recording this. I've gone dark again. Okay, demonstrative pronouns. Let's keep going. So, here, I'm just basically teaching you the words like this and that, these and those. That's the main point of this lesson. Right, so let's have a quick look. So the word for this is, well, literally, I keep saying the word literally. Are you one of those people who literally keeps using the word literally too literally much? Anyway, ni is the determiner for, or the demonstrative word. Ni, just ni, but the pronoun is ani, if that makes sense, right? Because ani would be like this thing, like just this by itself. But then ni is how we'd say this. So we're using the classifier an, which is just representing a singular item. It's a very generic classifier. So the way that we would change this is we just change the word ni to nan. You see that? So นี้อันนี้ becomes อันนั้น and to make the plural we would use สิ่งพวกนี้ or apart from พวก you could say the word เหล่าสิ่งเหล่านี้เหล่า would be สระเอหอหีบลอลิงไม่เอกสระอา okay go back and rewind if you want to hear that again just a more formal version of the plural พวก but usually we just say พวก so yeah just a quick recap this นี้ that นั้น and to make it plural you would say พวกนี้พวกนั้น alright let's do some repetition what's this อันนี้คืออะไรครับ I'm not going to pay attention to if it's a woman or a man I'm just going to say crap from my article now because I'm getting a bit confused switching อันนี้คืออะไรครับ It's my bag มันเป็นกระเป๋าของผมครับมันเป็นกระเป๋าของผมครับ What's that อันนั้นคืออะไรครับอันนั้นคืออะไรครับ It's my hat มันคือหมวกของผมครับมันคือหมวกของผมครับ What are these สิ่งพวกนี้คืออะไรครับสิ่งพวกนี้คืออะไรครับ Whereas in the singular we're using the classifier an in the plural we're not using a classifier we're literally using the word thing which means thing so thing plural determiner ni is what okay and then you answer they are bananas พวกมันคือกล้วยหอมพวกมันคือกล้วยหอม so whereas in English the word they can be used for both a group of people or a plurality of things in Thai they separate so people would be พวกเขา meaning they but พวกมัน would be the they of plural things right you'll see that so it's in English it's the same word but in Thai they separate What are those สิ่งพวกนั้นคืออะไรครับสิ่งพวกนั้นคืออะไรครับ They are apples พวกมันคือแอปเปิ้ลครับพวกมันคือแอปเปิ้ลครับ Alright Unit 6 well how are you doing I do hope you enjoy my explanations because I mean to be honest like what's the point of me even just like doing all this I could just get an AI to read all of these sentences for you and I could just sit down and relax but the reason I do is I want to add some kind of explanation and assistance in understanding the way that the words are used okay unit 6 question words nothing special here we're just learning who, what, where, when, why, those kind of words. The only point that I would make about questions in Thai is, you probably already noticed this, is that we swap the order. So, whereas in English we would put the question word at the beginning of the sentence, in Thai they put it at the end, So, for example, what's your name? In Thai they say, คุณชื่ออะไรครับ? So they're saying, you name what, whereas in English we say what first is your name. So that's just the main distinction to know. So let's just go ahead and do some repetition. Here we go. Who's that? คนนั้นคือใครครับ? Apologies for the squeaky chair. คนนั้นคือใครครับ? Oh, it's getting a bit cold in here. I just got my aircon fixed. What's this? อันนี้คืออะไรครับ? อันนี้คืออะไรครับ? When are you going? คุณจะไปเมื่อไหร่ครับ? คุณจะไปเมื่อไหร่ครับ Where is it มันอยู่ที่ไหนครับ มันอยู่ที่ไหนครับ A quick point about the word where. In everyday speech, often they will drop the word T. Alright, let me just show you here. So, for this sentence, มันอยู่ที่ไหน usually, to just be more colloquial, did I say it right? Colloquial. you wouldn't say the T, right? Just cross it out. So they just say, มันอยู่ไหนอะมันอยู่ไหนครับมันอยู่ไหน so just be aware that ไหน could mean ที่ไหน as in where, but also ไหน by itself is which. So just be careful. Sometimes it can mean where because it's the shortened version of ที่ไหน, but also ไหน by itself is which, right? Why did you do that? คุณทำอย่างนั้นทำไมครับ คุณทำอย่างนั้นทำไมครับ อย่าง You might be wondering what's this word อย่าง has a few meanings, but what is this sentence saying? It's saying you to do in that manner. Well, in it's kind of like the word like or in the manner of. Does that make sense? Like in the manner of, in the way like, and nan is the word that. So you to do like that why, or you to do in the manner of that why. I'm trying to give you a literal definition of yang because it just helps a little bit, but it's better just to remember like yang nan is like that. So it's basically the word like. So often just pair it together with yangนี้ or yangนั้น. So like this, like that. Do it like this ทำอย่างนี้ Do it like that ทำอย่างนั้น. Okay, so อย่างนี้อย่างนั้น is a very good phrase to remember. Like this, like that. อย่างนี้อย่างนั้น as like a demonstrative kind of instruction, right? อย่างนี้อย่างนั้น like this, like this. Okay. Where's my mouse gone? Mouse. There we are. Which one do you want? คุณอยากได้อันไหน คุณอยากได้อันไหน So you want, so อยากได้ together is want. Literally that you want to receive. Single classifier, which. Again, you want to receive. Single classifier, which. Which one do you want? Whose book is this? หนังสือเล่มนี้เป็นของใคร หนังสือเล่มนี้เป็นของใครครับ I'm forgetting crap again, but you forgive me, don't you? Really. It's because I'm doing this video in the daytime, and the outside light keeps changing, so my eyes keep adjusting. I don't know if I'm dark or light. Would you could tell me in the comments, is it consistent or am I just hallucinating? How do you know? คุณรู้ได้อย่างไรครับ คุณรู้ได้อย่างไรครับ Alright, Unit 7, tenses. How are we doing for time? It's been 48 minutes. Okay, so I'm probably going to finish this in 2 hours. That's a good target. So, English has a lot of fluff and complicatedness. Complexness is that word when it comes to tenses. In Thai, they do have a way of making tenses, but it's often just known by the context of the time. So here, where did you go yesterday? The main difference is in Thai, they put the time words at the beginning of the sentence, whereas in English we put them at the end. Okay, so where did you go yesterday becomes เมื่อวานคุณไปไหนครับ Alright, and you can see here, like I just said, the word where can drop the T. So เมื่อวานคุณไปที่ไหนครับ You don't always have to say the T. You can just say ไหน เมื่อวานคุณไปไหนครับ It's just more easier because you don't have to say T, right? It's just shortening it. What else is useful to explain to you about tenses? So the past is, well, all of it is contextually understood, but there are specific ways you can say the past. So for example, we learned about the word come, ma, you know, so I could say ผมไปโรงเรียนมา Sorry, ผมไปโรงพยาบาลมา. That means I went to the hospital. I could add the word ma, come at the end if I wanted to. A good way to represent the continuous is by adding กำลัง or you or both, but you don't have to. You answer by repeating the verb. You know that. กินข้าวแล้วหรือยังครับ so the word for yet is or still หรือยัง that's how they say yet in Thai. They say or still. So literally you eat rice already or not กินข้าวแล้วหรือยัง and then you answer by repeating กินแล้ว or ยัง I mean you don't have to say the full phrase ยังไม่ได้กิน you can just sayยัง just one word, you know กินข้าวแล้วยัง อ๋อยังครับ but the full phrase is ยังไม่ได้กินครับ but just be aware that you can just answer ยัง as the negative. What will you do tomorrow? So the main word you need to know for the future is the word da. I think we already touched on this in the grammar, right? So da is will. Tomorrow I'm busy. พรุ่งนี้ฉันยุ่ง. So simple. Okay, let's do some repetition. I need to go get some more water soon. Here we go. Tenses. Where did you go yesterday? เมื่อวานคุณไปไหนครับ เมื่อวานคุณไปไหนครับ I went to the hospital. ผมไปโรงเรียน Oh, I keep saying school. Sorry. ผมไปโรงพยาบาลครับ ผมไปโรงพยาบาลครับ Are you working today? วันนี้คุณทำงานไหมครับ วันนี้คุณทำงานไหมครับ And you answer just by repeating the verb. The verb here is to work. ทำงานครับ ไม่ทำงานครับ ทำงานครับ ไม่ทำงานครับ Have you eaten yet? กินข้าวแล้วหรือยังครับ กินข้าวแล้วหรือยังครับ One more point. I'm going to keep saying this. I have lots of points to say. So, there are obviously variations and shortened ways to say a lot of sentences. I am simply representing or showing you a very standard, generic, safe way. So, for example, you could just say กินข้าวยัง So I'm just saying the first two words and then just ยัง So you don't need to say แล้วหรือ You can just say กินข้าวยัง กินข้าวยัง or just even กินยัง So it's just like English, you know. You can shorten the things down. I just want to make a quick point of that because you get a lot of these kind of videos where it's this kind of like style of video. I kind of get it, but it's just it does more damage than understanding. Where they say like, don't say กินข้าวแล้วหรือยัง like don't do that, that's wrong, we don't, they do say it, it's fine. Like the point is formality, the point is what's the standard and what's the colloquial local street kind of language. It's not one is better than the other. And to be honest, when you're first starting the language, I wouldn't go straight to like street talk, you know? Start with basic generic full sentences which are going to get you more understood than if you were to try and be like, you know, yo, what's up, mate? And then imagine like teaching somebody English and saying, lesson 1, what's up, mate? How's it going? No, I mean, yeah, for sure, it's street language. That's how we speak on the street. You know, what's up, mate? How's it going? But it's a good idea to learn hello, how are you first. Even if we don't use that often, it's just a good, safe way to learn the language. Of course, you are going to learn other ways to say it more street kind of style and informal, but I just want to make a point of that, because you're going to get some people who comment like, Thai people don't say กินข้าวแล้วหรือยัง they don't say that. They say, alright, whatever, I'm just teaching a very safe generic way, okay, and there are other ways to do it. Okay, bit of a rant there. I'm back. You reply and answer with the verb again. So กินแล้วครับ or ยังไม่ได้กินครับ What will you do tomorrow? พรุ่งนี้คุณจะทำอะไรครับ Where's my water? พรุ่งนี้คุณจะทำอะไรครับ Tomorrow I'm busy. ขอบคุณครับ yes, my water has returned. Alright, I can keep going now. Tomorrow I'm busy. พรุ่งนี้ฉันยุ่งค่ะ or ครับ or whatever. You know the particle. พรุ่งนี้ฉันยุ่งครับ Alright, Unit 8, time. What have we got here? So, okay, the way that you say date in time, well, to say the dates, whereas in English we have ordinal and cardinal numbers. Cardinal meaning just the normal number 1, 2, 3. Ordinal would be like first, second, third. So we have a specific word for each. In Thai, to make the ordinal, they just add the word T before. So this is especially important when you're saying dates. So if you want to say today is the first, you would say วันนี้คือ or วันนี้วันที่1. So you would say วันที่1ที่2ที่3. What's the time now? So they actually use the phrase gi mong. So gi is how many, mong is like o'clock. So now how many o'clock is how they say what time is it. How often, the way you say how often is boy can I. So boy is and how are swapped. You know, in English we say how often, in Thai they say often. How much. Can I and เท่าไหร่ are quite similar and could both be translated as how much. But just off the top of my head, เท่าไหร่ is when you're talking about how much in terms of amount of something, specifically money or well, I'm just going to go with money at the moment, and I know obviously we use it money or prices. The other kind of how in English is when we pair the word how with another word, like how often, how far, how hungry are you, or how. So that kind of how is not how as in อย่างไร if you remember อย่างไร or ยังไง อย่างไร, that's how as in understanding the method, like how is it possible. But when you get how paired with an adjective, like how hungry are you, how hot is it, how often, that how is actually can I. So if I would say how hot is it today, I could say วันนี้ร้อนแค่ไหน or but if I say how do you know, I say คุณรู้ได้อย่างไร. I wouldn't say ได้แค่ไหน, I say ได้อย่างไร. So just a quick distinction if you followed me there, if you managed to catch what I said. This how is can I because it's paired with an adjective. I think that's the principle or the rule. Okay, how many times in Thai they say กี่ครั้ง so กี่ is obviously how many ครั้ง is the word for times or time but not time as in เวลา that's like a different word. I'm talking about countable times, like one time, two times, but in English we would say once or twice, right? Okay, good. I think that's all I want to explain about time. Let's go back and repeat some time. What's the date today? วันนี้วันที่เท่าไหร่ครับ วันนี้วันที่เท่าไหร่ครับ Today is the first, second, third. วันนี้วันที่1 2 3. Obviously you don't say them like that. You just choose one of the numbers. So let's say the second. วันนี้วันที่2. And then if it was the third, วันนี้วันที่3. Alright, like that. What's the time now? ตอนนี้กี่โมงครับ ตอนนี้กี่โมงครับ It's 5 o'clock. It's 5:30. ตอนนี้5 โมงเย็น or ตอนนี้5 โมงครึ่ง ตอนนี้5 โมงเย็น ตอนนี้5 โมงครึ่ง Don't worry if you are very confused about time, as in how to say the time in Thai. That is coming, I think, in course 7, so don't worry about it. We'll study about time in depth. How often do you learn English? คุณเรียนภาษาอังกฤษบ่อยแค่ไหนครับ Or perhaps you'll probably hear this question about Thai, so they'll probably say to you, you know, คุณเรียนภาษาไทยบ่อยแค่ไหนครับ I often learn English. ผมเรียนภาษาอังกฤษบ่อยครับ ผมเรียนภาษาอังกฤษบ่อยครับ How many times do you learn English a week? คุณเรียนภาษาอังกฤษกี่ครั้งต่อสัปดาห์ครับ คุณเรียนภาษาอังกฤษกี่ครั้งต่อสัปดาห์ครับ I learn 3 times a week. ผมเรียนภาษาอังกฤษ3 ครั้งต่อสัปดาห์ครับ ผมเรียนภาษาอังกฤษ3 ครั้งต่อสัปดาห์ครับ Alright, adjectives. Let's continue. I'm probably going to have to do this in 2 recording sessions. Okay, I'm going to do 10 today and then I'll do another 10 another day. Just a mental note to myself. Okay, Unit 9. Adjectives. So, the way that they represent comparative adjectives is with the word กว่า so สูง สูงกว่า and for the superlative, is that how you say it? Degree, we would say สูงที่สุด. So ที่สุด is how they would say most. ที่สุด, well, just ที่สุด by itself is kind of a way to say most. The most, and that's how you say the 3 degrees of adjectives. So whereas in English we would have to say more or the most, or less or the least. If it's a 2-syllable word, in Thai it just stays the same. The way that you say the equality of adjective degree when comparing 2 people. In English we use as something as. In Thai, kind of the same idea where we're repeating a word. They're repeating เท่า ผมสูง. You don't have to repeat เท่า. You could say ผมสูงเท่าคุณ so you're also dropping the กับ so just ผมสูงเท่ากับคุณ or I'm full version ผมสูงเท่ากับคุณ so another word for เท่าmight be like พอ so it like the word enough พอ like I tall enough with you kind of means like we're equal height ผมสูงเท่ากับคุณ so that's how you represent equal adjectives when comparing same so just comparison here that in English we don't need to in English we do need to change the structure a bit using er and stuff like that in Thai they're just sticking with gwa okay and for the smartest they would say ฉลาดที่สุด so really all I need to explain is just on the first page and this one right so just a quick recap gua is for taller than something and then ที่สุด after the adjective is how you'd say the superlative or is it superlative or superlative degree all right let's do some repetition here we go taller than the tallest สูงกว่าสูงที่สุดสูงกว่าสูงที่สุด beautiful more beautiful than the most beautiful สวยกว่าสวยที่สุดสวยกว่าสวยที่สุด I am as tall as you we are of equal height ผมสูงเท่ากับคุณครับ I'm forgetting crap often but whatever ผมสูงเท่ากับคุณ sorry ผมสูงเท่ากับคุณครับ I should put the thing over there keeps making the microphone she is as beautiful as that woman so I'm using the specific pronoun she Lon but you could just say เขา right anyway Lon สวยเท่ากับผู้หญิงคนนั้นครับลอนสวยเท่ากับผู้หญิงคนนั้นครับ I think I should just probably not forget I should just stop trying to say crap because I'm saying it sometimes and not saying it. Alright from this point on forget it just forget the crap alright in the sentences obviously you say it in real life when you're saying full sentences anyway alright that just makes it a lot more easier for me to concentrate on reading now English is easier than Chinese ภาษาอังกฤษง่ายกว่าภาษาจีนภาษาอังกฤษง่ายกว่าภาษาจีน And the other way around Chinese is more difficult than English ภาษาจีนยากกว่าภาษาอังกฤษภาษาจีนยากกว่าภาษาอังกฤษ She is the smartest girl in the school ลอนเป็นเด็กหญิงฉลาดที่สุดในโรงเรียนลอนเป็นเด็กหญิงฉลาดที่สุดในโรงเรียน He is the most hard-working boy in school เขาเป็นเด็กชายที่ตั้งใจเรียนมากที่สุดในโรงเรียนเขาเป็นเด็กชายที่ตั้งใจเรียนมากที่สุดในโรงเรียน Alright, Unit 10 halfway almost I think it's a good idea for me that I'm gonna do this in 2 sessions because sitting in front of this computer and this light for an hour and a half is probably going to be enough. Okay, so it's probably going to be about a 2-hour-ish video, so it's not too long, is it? All right. Anyway, I keep blabbing on about stuff. Family. What's to explain about this? How many people are in your family? So in Thai, they kind of say the same thing. The word for siblings in Thai is literally older and younger. พี่น้อง literally older, younger of people is how you say siblings. So it's a word which is genderless and ageless. Alright, anyway, siblings is the word พี่น้อง. Let's keep going. Me, ไม่มี is the way you answer. You know that. What does your father do? Okay, so we're using the word เป็น before occupation. So just remember that. ผมเป็นครูเขาเป็น so เป็น is what you would say before an occupation. The word close is สนิท. It's talking about intimacy as in that kind of close, not close as in near, like physicality. That would be the word like ใกล้ which can also be a synonym of near. Okay, so nothing too much to explain here, so let me have a quick sip. Alright, unit 10, let's do some repetition. Here we go. How many people are in your family? ครอบครัวของคุณมีกี่คนครับ I might say ครับ. So it feels strange if I'm not saying ครับ, especially with some questions, because you'll often say ครับ with when you're asking questions to people, when you anyway ครอบครัวของคุณมีกี่คน I'm gonna try to not bother saying it. ครอบครัวของฉันมี5 คน I have 5 people in my family. ครอบครัวของฉันมี5 คน Do you have any siblings? คุณมีพี่น้องไหมครับ So again, I'm throwing in the ครับ there, whatever. คุณมีพี่น้องไหม มีพี่น้องไหมครับ Okay, I'm gonna have to say ครับ because I'm trying to emphasize being polite, and sometimes it's a bit too informal if you keep forgetting ครับ. So alright, I changed my mind. I'm gonna say ครับ all the time. Yeah, you answer มีไม่มีครับ same as usual. What does your father do? คุณพ่อของคุณทำงานอะไรครับ คุณพ่อของคุณทำงานอะไรครับ You don't have to say ของคุณ I mean, if we're talking to you, if I say คุณพ่อ and when I'm saying คุณพ่อ that meaning your father, I don't have to then say ของคุณ because I'm already talking to you, so I could just say คุณพ่อทำงานอะไรครับ Just be aware that context obviously plays a role in omitting a lot of words out. Okay, he is a teacher. คุณพ่อเป็นครูครับ คุณพ่อเป็นครูครับ Who are you closest to in your family? คุณสนิทกับคนไหนมากที่สุดในครอบครัวของคุณครับ คุณสนิทกับคนไหนมากที่สุดในครอบครัวของคุณครับ I'm closest to my brother. ฉันสนิทกับพี่ชายมากที่สุดครับ ฉันสนิทกับพี่ชายมากที่สุดครับ Alright, I think that will do for me. I'm gonna come back another day and we'll continue with the next 10 lessons. Alright, well I hope you're enjoying it so far. By all means, if you've been watching non-stop for an hour, maybe you should take a break too. Alright, well anyway, I'll be back freshened up. Okay, I have returned. I wish I could say freshened up, but that was a hectic few days. I actually did a failed recording of this second half, and the audio was too distorted, so that was really heart-wrenching. But anyway, and this light keeps on going dark on me. Whatever, I'm sure it's fine. Anyway, I consider that failed attempt a rehearsal. I'm back. I've found another hour in my day. Let's continue. The only thing to explain about prepositions of place is you'll see that the word you is basically kind of like an equivalent of the English verb to be in this particular context, because it's stating where something is, or to be present, or to be located. But in English we just use the verb to be, right? So you see the word you like in every sentence, right? So here the pen is on the book. In Thai it's paka, the pen. You, which would be acting like is, or it could be any is, am, are, was, were. It depends on the subject and tense, right? Literally, the pen to be located, or is physically presently at this place on, bon, and then หนังสือ. So just the only thing to explain about that. Don't forget the word you when you're talking about where something is located. Okay, let's do some prepositions, some repetition, shall we? The pen is on the book. ปากกาอยู่บนหนังสือ. Excuse me, I really rushed my lunch today. ปากกาอยู่บนหนังสือ. The book is under the chair. หนังสืออยู่ใต้เก้าอี้. หนังสืออยู่ใต้เก้าอี้. There's another word for under. ข้างล่าง is also a synonym in some respects of under. Excuse me. The pencil is in the notebook. ดินสออยู่ในสมุด. ดินสออยู่ในสมุด. The bag is next to the chair. กระเป๋าอยู่ข้างๆเก้าอี้. กระเป๋าอยู่ข้างๆเก้าอี้. You'll notice that the word next to is repeating the word ข้างๆ. So it's you have to repeat ข้างๆ in order to mean next to. You can't just say กระเป๋าอยู่ข้าง. Could you say that? I might be wrong there, but I'm pretty certain that in order for it to be next to it, it's a duplicate, because ข้าง can also be paired up alongside. Sorry, apart from ข้าง you can also say ด้าน, which can kind of mean like side, and you pair them up with another word like ข้างหน้า or ด้านหน้า can mean in front, and ข้างหลัง or ด้านหลัง. So ข้าง or ด้าน are kind of interchangeable, and you pair them with another preposition to make the full preposition word. So just be aware of that. Okay, next one. The student is in front of the whiteboard. It's actually a blackboard, but whatever. นักเรียนอยู่ข้างหน้ากระดานขาว. นักเรียนอยู่ข้างหน้ากระดานขาว. The door is behind the chair. ประตูอยู่ข้างหลังเก้าอี้. ประตูอยู่ข้างหลังเก้าอี้. My children might be a bit noisy in the background. All good atmospheric noise. The table is between the chairs. โต๊ะอยู่ระหว่างเก้าอี้. โต๊ะอยู่ระหว่างเก้าอี้. You might be wondering, why are we just saying เก้าอี้? Why don't we say เก้าอี้สองตัว? You know, why don't we specify two chairs? Well, again, it's because of context, so you don't have to specify that it's two. Hold on, my son is here. Jesse, come on, I'm trying to make a video, buddy. Go. Scoot. Okay. He's always interested with the cartoons. He learns English and Thai from these books. Where were we? Okay, so yeah, chairs, you don't have to say two. It's the context which makes it two. Okay, next one. The eraser is in the middle of the table. ยางลบอยู่ตรงกลางบนโต๊ะ. ยางลบอยู่ตรงกลางบนโต๊ะ. Could also swap the last two bits around. You could say อย่างลบอยู่บนโต๊ะตรงกลาง is also a possibility. Okay, prepositions of time. So here we're just learning prepositions of time. So yeah, before is the word ก่อน after is หลัง almost เกือบ see if you can find it. I'm going a bit quick here, but just is เมื่อกี้ or เมื่อกี้นี้ there's another word for just. You can also say พอดี like literally enough good พอดีเห็นเพื่อนคุณ or เมื่อกี้เห็นเพื่อนคุณ they're kind of both interchangeable. Until, sorry, not the word since would be ตั้งแต่ so rather than literally translating it like ตั้ง to be set or to be established, and then there is but to be established, but you know, I just it's since, like together, you know, in the same way we have two words in English, understand. A foreign learner wouldn't do themselves any good to literally think about, okay, under, and then I'm standing. Okay, I'm under, and then I'm standing, and that means I fathom, I grasp, I no. It's just using those two words, but I don't think in any way they're related to the meaning. So ตั้งแต่ just remember it as since, right? Don't translate them each literally. Until is the word จนถึง. Now with จนถึง you could say either or you could say both. So you could just say จน you could just say ถึง or you could say both จนถึง and they all mean until. Not a problem doing that. Still, the way you say still in Thai is ยัง and I mean usually in English when we say still it's always like a present continuous. You could, if you wanted to, in Thai emphasize the continuous by adding the word กำลัง. If you remember that from grammar, right? You could say เขายังทำ sorry เขายังกำลังทำ but that's kind of I've never heard a Thai say that, so I wouldn't do it. เขายังทำการบ้านอยู่ I think is enough. We in English we have the ing, but in Thai you don't really need to specify that the กำลัง. Have you eaten yet? กินข้าวแล้วหรือยัง So the way you say yet in Thai is literally หรือยัง so that's or still, right? Have you eaten or still not, I guess. Okay, and that's it. So let's go back. I'm sorry if I go a bit quick, but at the same time I'm trying to make everybody happy as much as I can. You know, some people say, oh, this is such a long video. Some people like, you're going too fast. So it's like, well, I'm trying to make it detailed enough, but at the same time, make it a bit fast. Okay, let's do some repetition. Please do this before you go. ช่วยทำอันนี้ก่อนคุณจะไป.ช่วยทำอันนี้ก่อนคุณจะไป. Remember that the way you say please in Thai most often is just the word ช่วย, which is help. So they do have a specific word, karuna. I'm not sure if I've said this or not because I'm recording another day, so I can't remember what I've said in the previous hour, but I might just reiterate that. Let's meet up after work. ให้เราเจอกันหลังเลิกงาน ให้เราเจอกันหลังเลิกงาน. Let me just check my audio levels here. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, we're safe. I would hate to have to do this again. It was distorted. It's almost time to go. เกือบถึงเวลาที่ต้องไปแล้ว. I just saw your friend. เมื่อกี้นี้เห็นเพื่อนของคุณ. เมื่อกี้นี้เห็นเพื่อนของคุณ. I usually add the subject. Like I usually say like ผมเมื่อกี้นี้ผมเห็นเพื่อนของคุณ but I guess you don't always have to specify that. I have been awake since 6 a.m. ผมตื่นอยู่ตั้งแต่6 โมงเช้า. ผมตื่นอยู่ตั้งแต่6 โมงเช้า. In Thai, they use the same word for the verb and adjective. I mean, awake and to wake or to wake up is the same word in Thai. I studied until 11 p.m. last night. My kids are having fun. เมื่อคืนผมเรียนจนถึง5 ทุ่ม เมื่อคืนผมเรียนจนถึง5 ทุ่ม You might be a bit confused by the way that time is stated in Thai. It is very confusing in the beginning. Don't worry, you will learn it. It will make sense. They just separate the day into time zones, I guess. He is still doing his own work. เขายังทำการบ้านอยู่ เขายังทำการบ้านอยู่ Have you eaten yet? คุณกินข้าวแล้วหรือยัง คุณกินข้าวแล้วหรือยัง I can't remember if I've touched on this or not because, like I said, it's another day of recording for me. But when you're saying หรือยัง all right, did I explain this? I'm going to do it one more time. When you get two words which are part of a phrase or like a compound noun or a compound verb or whatever it is, like หรือยัง is two words together, right? Or still, literally, like that's what it is, but it's meaning yet. You often will just say the first one a lot quicker and then end out on the second one. So what do I mean? Instead of saying หรือยัง like really getting the หรือ like going down and up for the rising, like หรือยัง you can just say หรือยัง instead of หรือยัง just say หรือยัง so you're just saying หรือหรือยัง it's fine, like especially when you're saying the whole sentence. คุณกินข้าวแล้วหรือยัง so just something to be aware of. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna try and do this in an hour. 13 minutes already. Okay, I think we should be able to do it. Other important words. So these are kind of like a mix of conjunctions and adverbs. So the way you say already in Thai is แล้ว because is เพราะ often you'll see some words paired with the word ว่า so วอแหวนไม่เอกสระอา right ว่า เพราะว่า now in my opinion if you just add the ว่า that makes it a little bit more formal, just makes it a little bit more not polite but just it sounds more serious, I guess, you know, a bit more emphatic. So if you said ผมชอบเล่นฟุตบอลเพราะว่ามันสนุก you're really giving a lot of stress to the word because. So but apart from being paired with เพราะว่า I mean it can be in other words, you know, แต่ว่าผมอยากจะไปแต่ว่าผมไม่ว่าง so you can add ว่า to a lot of words. For example, like, you know, พูดว่าได้ยินว่า but that ว่า is actually that, and that the word that in that sense it appears together with like what's the kind of, I think it's like expressive verbs. So you know, words like speak and hear and thought and explain. So anything where you're verbalizing some kind of action or it can be verbalizing or some kind of thought, like something related to your mind, like you're dreaming, like you're ฝันว่า or you're thinking that คิดว่า or you're explaining อธิบายว่า or you're hearing. So something to do with either input into your brain or output going out of your brain or verbalizing, where we can add the word ว่า that is just my very off the cuff kind of observation of the word ว่า but in this sense I'm not sure why we're adding ว่า but maybe one of you can do some homework for me with Google and try and give me an answer for that. I'm just going to say it. Okay, if ถ้า the word if can also be one of those either or both. So the other word which is often paired with ถ้า to make it a bit more formal is the word หาก so ถ้าหาก so it's หอหีบหอหีบสระอากอไก่ right หออากอหออากอถ้าหาก so you can say either or both. I think if you say both it just makes it very formal now ถ้าหากคุณหิว so I wouldn't really say both to be honest in everyday speech. The word for or else or otherwise in English is ไม่งั้น here I'm actually using quite a slangy abbreviation. When I first did this recording, in which I failed because the sound was awful, I explained it. But actually, I think what I'm going to do now is give you a bit of a challenge. So, for those of you who don't know, I mean, if you know already, well then, I guess just well done, keep it to yourself. But I want to make this for a challenge for those of you who don't know what this is. What am I talking about? I'm talking about where it says here ทำเลยไม่งั้น alright, you see that งั้น so they got the งองู right? Can you see my mouse? Maybe I should just highlight it. Yeah, there we go. Let me highlight for you. I'm talking about this word here. You see it in my horrible circle, okay? งั้น hold on. Jesse, go to your bedroom. Go. Keep. Yes, he really likes watching these cartoons. Homework. So I'm getting to it. Your homework is tell me which two words that comes from. Alright, it comes from two words. ไม่งั้น right, I'll be careful trying not to reveal the answer now. But it's a more common spoken way of saying those two words. They'll often just say งั้นไม่งั้น okay. So or else in Thai literally is no like that. So if you remember, I did actually talk about how you say like this and like that. So it's those two words. It's not like as in to like something. It's the way we say like as in like yeah, like this, like that. Do it like this, you know. So it's do it in this manner. Is what I mean. Okay, continue. Probably the word probably is น่าจะ I try and be quick with these explanations because I could go on forever. But na is a very interesting. I would regard it as a prefix. I mean, I guess it's a verb maybe, but what it's doing is it's literally trying to convey the meaning of to be worthy of in a lot of respects, in a lot of meanings. That's like one literal translation I could give it. To be worthy of, to be valuable of, to be commendable for. I'm trying to think of the right words in English. So for example, you could put this in front of other verbs. You could say โซฟาตัวนั้นน่ะน่านั่ง so the sofa is น่านั่ง what do you think that means? Well, literally it is worthy of me sitting on it. It's very sittable. It looks good for sitting on. I can't really think of a better way to literally translate it than, you know, to be worthy of, to be suitable for. So, for example, tasty. Apart from saying อร่อย you could also say, well, this is in the sense that you're looking at it and you're observing it and you're saying, wow, that looks really tasty. You say, wow, ดูน่ากิน do to look at, to watch, น่ากิน like worthy of me eating it. So, wow, that looks really tasty. So in English we just say it looks tasty. So nagin in that sentence you could understand it as meaning tasty, but it's actually before you eat it. It's nagin, it's worthy of eating, which contextually I guess is it looks tasty. Okay, anyway. So that's why. What's the word? So that's why. Can you find it in this sentence? Let me give you a quick second. Find where we are saying so that's why in Thai in this sentence. Or I'll give you 10 seconds. All right, did you find it? It's these two words. ก็เลย 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 is how you say so that's why, hence, therefore, thus, and so on in English. So the main thing I taught here, I need to pace myself in my speaking. I'm losing my voice again. The main difference with English is that we swap the order with the subject. So in English we say, so that's why I, or so that's why subject, and then, did something. In Thai they're saying ผมก็เลย You see that? So that's the main difference to notice here, because when I was speaking Thai in the beginning, I would always say this the wrong way around. I would say ผมอยากพูดภาษาไทยเป็นก็เลยผมต้องตั้งใจเรียน so I would think of the English, but it's swapped. Just remember that. So in Thai they're saying I, so that's why study, right? Let me go with you. The word for let or allow is the word ให้ ให้ is also the word for give, so just be careful how you use it. All right, let's do some repetition. Other important words, here we go. I did it already. ฉันทำแล้ว ฉันทำแล้ว There's also a shortened word for แล้ว You could just say ละ which is ลอลิง ไม่เอกสระอะ ฉันทำละ It's kind of like a very casual to say, like, yeah, I did it. Yep, I've done it. Boop. I like to play football because it's fun. ผมชอบเล่นฟุตบอลเพราะมันสนุก ผมชอบเล่นฟุตบอลเพราะมันสนุก I keep getting paranoid that I'm getting really darker all the time. Is it just me? Is it just me, or are my eyes adjusting or something? All right, whatever. I want to go, but I'm not free. ผมอยากจะไปแต่ผมไม่ว่าง ผมอยากจะไปแต่ผมไม่ว่าง If you're hungry, let's go eat. ถ้าคุณหิวเราไปกินกันเถอะ ถ้าคุณหิวเราไปกินกันเถอะ Do it or else you'll forget. ทำเลยไม่งั้นคุณจะลืม ทำเลยไม่งั้นคุณจะลืม I have to bring the light down a bit. I can't handle it. But then I look too dark. Alright, I'll tolerate the bright light. It's probably correct. มันน่าจะถูกต้อง มันน่าจะถูกต้อง One thing I forgot to mention here is this is another one of those either or both. So you can just say ถูก. Sorry, it's not either or both. Let me do that again. You have to say if you say ถูก, you have to sorry, if you're going to say ต้อง, you have to say ถูก. All right. Does that make sense? I'm getting way ahead of myself. Let me start again. Okay, when you're saying the word correct, you can say either just ถูก one word, right? Or you can say ถูกต้อง, which would be two words, all right? So the full word obviously is ถูกต้อง would mean correct, but you can just say ถูก มันน่าจะถูก, which in the context would mean correct. Or if it was a different context, if you're talking about money or price, it means cheap. All right, so just be aware there's two contexts, but if you want to be sure that you're saying the word correct, well then say both of them, all right? I want to speak English. excuse me. So that's why I study. ผมอยากพูดภาษาอังกฤษเป็นผมก็เลยเรียนผมอยากพูดภาษาอังกฤษเป็นผมก็เลยเรียนyou'll notice here that we're using the word เป็น as an ability. So if I said I can swim, I would say ผมว่ายน้ำเป็น There's two ways that you can show ability in Thai. You could say the whole phrase like สามารถ and then ได้ So ผมสามารถพูดภาษาอังกฤษได้ Or you could just say เป็น at the end of the sentence, right? There's two ways to say ability. Let me go with you. ให้ผมไปด้วยกับคุณให้ผมไปด้วยกับคุณ Yes 14 come on let's do it. It's so hard for me to find time in my life to do this for you guys, but with those encouraging comments I find and muster the strength to do it. All right, directions. Anything to explain about directions? What did I explain about it last time? That was significant. Okay, so maybe this one. When you're saying along the road or along something, don't forget we're using a classifier. So, ไปตาม ตาม is along, like literally follow, and then road, and the classifier for road is เส้น, right? Turn right, turn left, turn around. A turn around is เลี้ยวกลับ, but to be honest, they just say กลับ. And they would say, if I said, you need to turn your car around, you need to make a U-turn, I would just say ต้องกลับรถนะครับ just กลับรถ just say กลับ and then the car, กลับรถ I mean, you could even just say U-turn. A lot of Thais just say that. Cross the bridge. Okay, so ข้ามสะพาน walk past the school. Okay, the word for get on and get off is literally up and down. So up and down have two functions in Thai. They could be literally the preposition, of direction for the verb up and down, but they also act as a verb, as in English we would say to get on or to get off the bus. And they're saying up and down the bus. For the word for take, in Thai you can use the word kun, like to get on, but you can also just use the word sit. So nang, I could say ผม For example, if I said I take a taxi to work every day, ผมนั่งแท็กซี่ไปทำงานทุกวัน. So I'm literally saying I sit taxi. You can use the word sit when talking about taking a public or private or whatever vehicle of transportation as the passenger. Okay, let's do some repetition. I'm lost. Can you help me? ผมหลงทางคุณช่วยผมได้ไหมผมหลงทางคุณช่วยผมได้ไหม How do I get to this hotel? ผมจะไปโรงแรมนี้ได้อย่างไรผมจะไปโรงแรมนี้ได้อย่างไร Go straight along this road. ตรงไปตามถนนเส้นนี้ตรงไปตามถนนเส้นนี้ Just a quick pointer. Making use of the classifiers all the time is not a necessity in Thai. I mean, like officially, technically, yeah, we should use a classifier, but you can't just say ตรงไปตามถนนนี้ I mean, perfectly fine. So I just want you to be aware that it's not like this fixed rule that you must, well, grammatically sure, but in everyday life you don't always have to make use of the classifiers when talking about something. Okay, turn right, turn left, turn around. เลี้ยวขวาเลี้ยวซ้ายเลี้ยวกลับ which I don't really hear much people say, but let's just do it again. เลี้ยวขวาเลี้ยวซ้ายเลี้ยวกลัb. Or for turn around, you could just say กลับรถ or U-turn ครับกลับรถ cross the bridge ข้ามสะพานwalk past the school เดินผ่านโรงเรียนget on the bus ขึ้นรถเมล์ get off the bus ลงรถเมล์ often when you're just talking about when you're already in the vehicle you wouldn't need to specify that it's a รถเมล์ you could just say ขึ้นรถลงรถ you know if you're on the bus and you want to ask the person like do I get off at this stop you'd say ป้ายถัดไปผมต้องลงไหมครับ I mean you wouldn't even say the รถ you would just say ลง you know do I need to get off ผมต้องลงไหมครับป้ายนี้ลงไหมครับ so this bus stop I get down so ป้ายนี้ผมลงไหมครับป้ายนี้ผมลงไหมป้ายนี้ผมต้องลงไหมครับ okay I take the bus to work ผมขึ้นรถเมล์ไปทำงาน or you could say sit ผมนั่งรถเมล์ไปทำงาน so you could also say sit as well okay shopping we're almost halfway done I mean for this session for me great I should okay was it 30 minutes okay yeah so it should be about an hour what's to explain about time don't forget that what time in Thai they literally say how many of the hour กี่โมง right มีอะไรให้ฉันช่วยไหม looking for is the word หา buy one get one free okay let's explain this word I think I remember I did that last time แถม so in English we say buy one get one free I mean if I were to be a bit more specific with the English I would say buy one and receive as a free bonus or and receive freely and receive as an additional extra that's literally what this word is doing right it's saying as an addition it's not always used in the context of like money and products and I mean obviously it is here but you can also say in other contexts where you're trying to say like as an extra addition right as a surplus Jesse what do you want some paper hold on my kid just wants some paper hold on I'll get you some just one okay does mommy don't want one does mommy want one just one is that enough alright see you later okay sorry the paper's in the office he wants to draw some stuff so where was I yeah it means surplus or as an extra right so buy one get one free another context you know maybe I'm saying like what did I think of last time it's kind of a bad example but whatever let's say I see my wife really busy looking after the kids and she hasn't had time to hoover the house or vacuum for my US friends so okay after I ate breakfast I then told her ผมล้างจานให้ like I washed the dishes and also as an extra so แถมก็ดูดฝุ่นให้ด้วย so I'd say ผมล้างจานให้ I wash the dishes แถม and as an extra ผมดูดฝุ่นให้ I literally suck the dust that's what it means to hoover I suck the dust not by myself but with the machine okay so the whole sentence again ผมล้างจานแถมดูดฝุ่นให้แล้วนะ so it's not like that isn't my duty to do it anyway. It's not like, oh wow, you did an extra thing as a husband. You've hoovered as well. Wow, you're really pulling out all the stops now, aren't you? It's just the only example that I think to come to my head. To be honest, we hoover every day between us, and even the kids hoover. Anyway, let's continue. That's not the point. That's too expensive. The way that they say excessive or too in English is the word เกิน and you can just say เกิน or you can pair it with ไป okay, but the full phrase is เกินไป so นั้นแพงเกินไป or you could just say นั้นแพงเกิน. I also do hear them just say ไป sometimes, you know, นั้นแพงไป. So yeah, I think this is one of those either or both. So but I think เกินไป when you're saying เกิน, you're really giving more emphasis to the excessiveness. If you were to just say นั้นแพงไป, it just means if you just said ไป, that would be like, well, it's a little bit expensive. It's going in the direction of a high price now. But to use both of them would be a better emphasis. Okay, could I have a discount? ขอส่วนลด. So literally, I request a part reduction. So ส่วนลด. Okay, nothing else to explain there. Sorry. Okay, let's do some repetition. Hopefully my kids won't come in asking for anything else. Oh, here he is again. Okay. Colors. Sorry, everything is in the office, so my kids keep coming in and out. Okay, where are we? Repeat. What time do you open and close? Let's do open first. คุณเปิดกี่โมง? And then let's do close. คุณปิดกี่โมง? To be honest, you could just ask them both in the same phrase. Like, what time do you open and close? So you just say คุณเปิดปิด. You open, close. They put those together when they're saying, so what time do you open and close? In English, we'd have to use the word and. In Thai, you just put them together. คุณเปิดปิดกี่โมงครับ? You do it like that. Okay, we open at 9 and close at 6. เราเปิด 9 โมงเช้า และปิด 6 โมงเย็น. Where are we? เราเปิด 9 โมงเช้า และปิด 6 โมงเย็น. Let me just check my audio levels. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're doing good. I'm kind of paranoid about my audio getting distorted again. Is it still good? Yes, it's still good. How much is this or that? Let's do this first. อันนี้ราคาเท่าไหร่? And do that. อันนั้นราคาเท่าไหร่? อันนี้ราคาเท่าไหร่? อันนั้นราคาเท่าไหร่? Can I help you with anything? มีอะไรให้ฉันช่วยไหม? มีอะไรให้ฉันช่วยไหม? I'm looking for a blue t-shirt. ผมกำลังหาเสื้อเชิ้ตสีฟ้า. I think that's actually more of a purple shirt, but whatever. And the word blue we're using here is actually sky blue or light blue. I mean, they're literally saying sky color, right? For light blue. The word for a darker blue in Thai is สีน้ำเงิน สีน้ำเงิน, right? Buy one, get one free. ซื้อหนึ่งแถมหนึ่ง. That's too, sorry, did it twice. ซื้อหนึ่งแถมหนึ่ง. That's too expensive. นั้นแพงเกินไป. นั้นแพงเกินไป. Can I have a discount? ขอส่วนลดได้ไหม? ขอส่วนลดได้ไหม? Alright, weather. The way that you'd say what is something like, okay, just remember that phrase, what, and then auxiliary, just what, whatever, what, like. So it could be a different tense in English. You know, the apostrophe s is. It could be was. It could be were. Or whatever. The phrase is what blah 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 like. Literally the same as like just how. How's the weather? So there's two ways we can say how in English in this regard. So how's the weather or what's the weather like? The phrase in Thai is เป็นอย่างไร You could also add บ้าง but you don't have to. Just เป็นยังไง เป็นอย่างไร And they'd often just shorten this อย่างไร They would just say, can you read this here? เป็นไง So ไง just here, you see? Instead of I, งง You could just say เป็นไง So ไง is a contraction. Is that the word? A shortened version of อย่างไร They would just say ไง เป็นไง like เป็นไงบ้าง How are you? Okay, so the way they say adjectives from nouns in Thai, when talking about weather at least, I mean in English we just add y, right? So sun, sunny, rain, rainy, cloud, cloudy. In Thai they're literally just saying me, which is to have, right? Or there is. So there is sunshine, it's sunny. There is rain, it's raining. There is or are, because it's plural, talking about clouds. There are clouds covering. There are clouds covering. Jesse, I'm trying to record a video, buddy. Can you try and stay outside? And Daddy will play with you later, okay? Okay, thank you. Sorry. Okay, so yeah. To say cloudy in Thai, you're literally saying there are clouds covering. อุณหภูมิ I often missed out the H here because usually we would not usually I guess a lot of times you see หอ as a หอนำ do you remember that หอนำ หอ heap so it's the หอ heap which is acting as it's changing the next consonant into high class, right? So this is not อุณหภูมิ This is อุณหภูมิ So you're actually pronouncing this as its own syllable, right? You're saying un and then you're saying ha and then you're saying pum, อุณหภูมิ right? I always would forget that in Thai. That's the word for temperature. Okay, หนาวเย็นอุ่นร้อน ฤดู is season. And when you actually say the season in Thai, you need to say the word season. So in Thai, they're literally saying, I'm going to be saying the word literally a lot because it's important. Because I'm using it in its proper sense. I'm not just like literally. Anyway, you're literally saying to be the season hot, to be the season cold. So ฤดูร้อน is summer, right? Or ฤดู now. You have to say ฤดู You can't just say เป็นหนาว because then that would mean it's cold. You need to say that it's winter. The way that you'd say it's raining lightly or heavily is you just duplicate or say it twice, the word light or heavy. There is another word for lightly, which is the word we're talking about, like the rain at least. So when you say it's raining lightly, you could say ฝนตก บรอยบรอย broy, if you can spell it, it's สระโอ ปอปลา รอเรือ ไม้เอก รอยอยักษ์ okay so บรอยบรอยบรอยบรอยบรอย ฝนตก บรอยบรอย is another word for เบาๆ okay and the sun is very bright today, or literally today, sunshine strong, alright. I mean even in English we could say that the sunshine is really strong today. It's fine. Okay, we're making good time. My throat is still in good shape. Here we go. Weather. What's the weather like? อากาศเป็นอย่างไรบ้าง อากาศเป็นอย่างไรบ้าง You don't have to say บ้าง remember, you can just say อากาศเป็นไง It's sunny, rainy and cloudy. Let me just read these together. มีแดด มีฝน มีเมฆคลุม มีแดด มีฝน มีเมฆคลุม What's the temperature like อุณหภูมิเป็นอย่างไรอุณหภูมิเป็นอย่างไร apart from เป็นอย่างไร they probably just ask เท่าไหร่ which is like how much, you know อุณหภูมิเท่าไหร่ or อุณหภูมิกี่องศา กี่ how many องศา degrees is another way. Cold, cool, warm, hot. Okay, หนาวเย็นอุ่น excuse me ร้อน I'll do that again, trying not to burp. หนาวเย็นอุ่นร้อน What season is it ตอนนี้เป็นฤดูไหนตอนนี้เป็นฤดูไหน You'll see sometimes that in English we say what, but in Thai they're saying which. I mean, you could also say what in Thai, I guess. ตอนนี้เป็นฤดูอะไร I think usually they would say which though. But in some cases in English we're saying what. Okay, it's summer or winter. เป็นฤดูร้อนเป็นฤดูร้อนเป็นฤดูหนาวเป็นฤดูหนาว It's quite a difficult sound to get the because you need to flutter or roll. I think the word flutter is in English, right? You need to flick up your tongue at least once. I can't roll my R's, okay? I can just do one which is enough, to be honest. It'sฤดู, but if you can I can't do it. ฤดูหนาว It's raining lightly or heavily. ฝนตกเบาๆฝนตกเบาๆ Or do you remember the other one? ฝนตกโปรยๆฝนตกโปรยๆ We have so many ways to talk about rain in English, especially from England. It's spitting, it's bucketing it down, it's pouring it down, it's tossing it down, it's chucking it down. Alright, heavy is ฝนตกหนักๆ right? Heavy. The sun is very bright today, or literally today, sunshine strong. วันนี้แดดแรงวันนี้แดดแรง Alright, 17, 18, 19, 20, 4 more lessons. Housework. What's to explain about housework? Well, don't forget the difference between I should say, don't forget to practice the word for housework and the word for homework. Alright, in Thai, housework is งานบ้าน but the word for homework is การบ้าน so whereas in English we would change the word house to be home, in Thai that's the same word บ้าน so they're just changing the front part, which is งาน or การ right? Don't forget the way you answer is obviously just by repeating the verb. Okay, ล้างจาน so in English we're using dishes as the plural. In Thai they're using the word plate. Jaan is literally a plate, but they can also use it to refer to all of the dishes, right? Do the laundry is literally wash clothing. It's kind of a shortened word of เสื้อผ้า so when you're saying like specifically clothing, sure you can, or clothes, you can say เสื้อผ้า but when you're putting that as a phrase, or particularly do the laundry or wash the clothing in Thai, you would just say ผ้า you don't need to say เสื้อ ซักเสื้อผ้า you can just say ซักผ้า and be aware that there are 3 different words for wash. There's the word ซัก which is about washing clothing. There's the word สระ which is for your hair. And then there's the word ล้าง which is here, right? That's the word wash when talking about washing other things like with your hands. Okay. Tidy up the room. ทำความสะอาดห้อง I mean actually this is literally saying to do cleanliness, to make of clean your room. Like ความสะอาดis the adjective noun of สะอาด, right? So to make it become of cleanliness your room. I mean there is a word for tidy up, which would be a bit more about like putting things in their place rather than clean is quite a general term, but tidy up is more like talking about putting things in the right place. So you could say เก็บของเข้าที่ เก็บ ของเข้าที่ or เก็บของให้เป็นระเบียบ I'll just leave it as that. See if you can decipher and also extract the words from what I just said. Take out the rubbish is literally take rubbish and then out to dispose. The way that they say take in Thai is actually it's like a pair word, so you have to say ow and then you say bye. So you in Thai you're saying to get. Ow is kind of like get or grab or take hold of this thing, this object. So take hold of this rubbish and then go out or literally out, go and then ting. So the phrase for take is ow something by somewhere. Okay, so you would put the object in the middle. So if I said take this, just said to my son, take this, take it to your mom. เอาอันนี้ไปให้แม่เอาอันนี้ไปให้แม่เอาอันนี้ไปให้แม่ right? Or if it's go get, I would say ไปเอาand thenมา. So the way you say take is เอาไป. The way you say go get would be ไปเอามา and then obviously you're inserting the object in between. Water the plants. รดน้ำ. The way they say the verb to water is รดน้ำ. You could just say รดต้นไม้ but I'm pretty sure they always say it together with น้ำ. Okay, so รดis the verb itself, and then it's saying water to water with water the plants, right? So kind of a double whammy. Okay, let's do some repetition before my baby wakes up from his nap and the whole house will explode. Have you done your housework yet? คุณทำการบ้านแล้วหรือยัง คุณทำการบ้านแล้วหรือยัง or if you remember we could just say หรือยัง right? คุณทำการบ้านแล้วหรือยัง you can make it shorter. So you answer ทำแล้วยังไม่ได้ทำ and do you remember if we want to make this sentence a bit shorter we can just say ยัง okay? So ทำการบ้านแล้วหรือยังยังค่ะ I mean obviously don't forget your polite particles. Sweep the floor is กวาดพื้น mop the floor. ถูพื้น we can also literally just mean like rub, to rub. Wash the dishes ล้างจาน do the laundry ซักผ้า. This is just a quick example where I'll just reiterate the importance of getting the ability of what's the phrase for it? What's the correct terminology? Unreleased voiceless consonant stops, especially K, P, and T, right? So ซักผ้า what you don't want to say is ซักผ้า, right? Obviously we're not saying the final consonant because it's the แม่กอก this, or it could be แม่กอบ, right? There's three, you know them. So just a quick reminder, you're saying ซักผ้า, don't say ซักผ้า, but you probably know that by now. Tidy up the room ทำความสะอาดห้อง take out the rubbish เอาขยะออกไปทิ้ง water the plants รดน้ำต้นไม้ yes you are correct they use the same word for tree as well as plants which is just a generic ต้นไม้ okay so it's the same word for plant or tree. Health, what to explain about health? I think the main thing was in English, we use the set phrase like I have and then symptom, right? I have a headache, I have a sore throat, I have a cough. Now, pretty much 90% of the time in Thai, you're just saying the verb instead. So here, for example, she's saying ฉันเจ็บคอ which is literally I ache or to be sore or to hurt throat, right? And then headache is I to ache head, and then here have a cold in Thai is literally I to be the symptom of, well, it's just to be, right? Ben, and but the next word is what, which is a flu or fluenza or a cold, right? So I to be a flu. And as far as for I feel sick, well, you could just say I feel not well, ไม่สบาย, or you could say the specific word for sick, which is boy, which also means ill, right? Ill and sick. Okay, let's do some repetition. There's one more thing I was going to say. Yes, for this sentence, when you have a cough, you could say มีการไอ You could say มีการไอ so I have coughing. You could say การไอ You could also use the word อาการไอ which is the symptom. So อาการ is actually the word symptom. I have. So it's kind of the same as English, isn't it? In the sense, I to have symptom cough. But as far as I'm aware, I've only ever seen this set phrase used for the word cough. In other cases, you don't really say it like that. Okay, but I think that's enough to explain. Let's do some repetition. Here we go. I feel sick. Let's do the first one. ฉันรู้สึกไม่สบาย ฉันรู้สึกไม่สบาย Or you could say ป่วย right? ฉันรู้สึกป่วย ฉันรู้สึกป่วย I have a cold. ผมเป็นหวัด ผมเป็นหวัด Don't worry about getting the wrong tone, because I know some of you are thinking, oh, if I say what, that means temple. I've got to be really careful, or else people are going to think that I'm saying I'm a temple. I am a temple. When if you are going to the pharmacy, hold on, Jesse, it's too loud. Oh, sorry, he's shaking his pencils around. If you go to the pharmacy and you say, ผมเป็นหวัด obviously, even though you've just said I'm a temple, they know you're trying to say ผมเป็นหวัด not what. You've said the wrong tone, but the context, the situation is more than enough to be understood. I just want to keep clarifying that, because in a tonal language, people make it out to be so daunting that, oh, if you say the wrong thing, they're going to think that you want to kill their stepdaughter's dog. Like, no, just relax. Okay, I have a headache. ผมปวดหัว ผมปวดหัว I have a sore throat. ฉันเจ็บคอ ฉันเจ็บคอ I have the symptom of cough. ผมมีอาการไอ ผมมีอาการไอ You could just say ผมไอ You know, if you were the doctor and she said, you know, มีอาการยังไงบ้าง You know, what symptoms do you have? You could just say, ผมไอครับ You just say, you know, I'm coughing. You don't have to say these set phrases all the time. I have a fever. ผมเป็นไข้ ผมเป็นไข้ Take some medicine. กินยา กินยา I forgot to mention, in English we say take, not eat, but in Thai they say eat medicine. There are other words for eat, you know, you could say gin or tan or รับประทาน right? There's other words for eat. Go see the doctor. I forgot to mention that they don't say go see, they say go look for or go seek after. Alright? So ไปหาหมอ ไปหาหมอ This is what another good example to just talk about tones, all right? Because you've got by, which is easy enough, just mid-tone, okay, by. But then you've got ha, mo. You've got two rising words together, and I get the feeling. It's like you feel like, do I really have to like get them both really done well, like in a rising tone? Do I have to be like, by ha, mo, by ha? Do I have to go down and up and then down and up again? By ha, mo. No, you don't really have to do it that well. You can just say by ha, mo. So my ha has just become more or less ha, by ha, by ha, by ha, by ha. Because the point that I'm trying to make is that when you're saying things as a full phrase in a full context of a sentence or a phrase, you don't have to give so much what's the word, due diligence or like, yeah, just don't try too hard at getting each word so correct, because it's unnatural. When you start speaking the language more quickly, I know that's not correct English, more quickly, but whatever, it's gonna find a way to compress itself. So, you know, by ha mo rather than by ha mo, all right? The duration of the word often gets compressed down. Because ha mo is like a phrase, right? So because ha is in the middle, you don't need to give it so much time. All right, that's enough for that. You get it, or whatever. All right, go by ha mo. All right, have we done? Yes, that was just our repetition, wasn't it? Okay, good. I always think of some more things to explain during the repetition phase or step. All right, but I'm sure you enjoy and are benefiting from those in-depth explanations, aren't you? Okay, go on the trip. What's to explain here? The way that they say have you ever or have you been, or in English the present perfect simple when asking about something in the past, is they use the word เคย, right? You see that one? เคย. So if I were to give เคย a literal meaning to understand the sense of the word, I would just describe it as meaning in the past. So you in the past go, travel, see, come, before question. And you might already be aware of the way that we can represent past in Thai, which is using by and then ma, right? I think we've touched on that before. And the way you answer is just by repeating it, isn't it? Okay. พวกเราไปชายหาดกันเถอะ Okay, กันเถอะ This is always used in like suggestion for a group, kind of the same way that we say let's in English. So if you were to remember it, try to remember it with like, you know, พวกเรา or เรา or ให้เรา at the beginning and then กันเถอะ at the end, right? ตั๋วรถทัวร์ how much is the bus ticket? I mean, in Thai they're actually saying a tour bus, but not tour bus as in like sightseeing buses. They use the word รถทัวร์ but they're talking about just getting on a bus which travels long distances between provinces. They call those รถทัวร์. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So just something to be aware of. How long would the journey take? In Thai, the word for journey is การเดินทาง Have I made this aware to you yet or not? That the way you make a verb, this is a verb, เดินทาง. Okay, เดินทาง means travel, right? So the way that you make it a noun, the way you make a verb in Thai, a noun, is by adding the word การ. Okay, you can see that here. So when you say การเดินทาง, it has now become a gerund or a gerund. How do you say it in English? You know, the ing. It's the noun form basically. So it's the word journey, or literally how long will the traveling, but we can just say journey instead of traveling, take. And for take, they are saying use time. ใช้ เวลา is the way they say take. And can I, we've touched on this, is paired with an adjective like how long. So นาน here is referring to long time นาน that one here it's so difficult to make a circle with this นานแค่ไหนเราต้องจองโรงแรมเราควรเช่ารถ we should hire a car เช่า in Thai is the same word for hire and rent okay we're almost done oh finally I had a very encouraging comment from somebody who said I'm loving the courses when is the next one I'm on a roll I want to keep the momentum if I use the keyword momentum you probably know who you are it's coming alright I would have had this video up a while ago if I didn't ruin the audio anyway let's do some repetition have you been to the sea before คุณเคยไปเที่ยวทะเลมาก่อนไหมคุณเคยไปเที่ยวทะเลมาก่อนไหมเคยไม่เคยเคยไม่เคย Would you like to go on the trip คุณอยากไปเที่ยวกันไหมคุณอยากไปเที่ยวกันไหม Let's go to the beach พวกเราไปชายหาดกันเถอะพวกเราไปชายหาดกันเถอะ Although to be honest when they're saying like the beach as a place to go visit they won't say the literal word for beach which is ชายหาด they will say the word sea which is ทะเล so let's go to the beach in Thai really is more like พวกเราไปทะเลกันเถอะ so just be aware that in English I guess in English we could say both you know let's go to the sea let's go to the beach but in Thai they don't really say ชายหาด to be honest okay how much is the bus ticket ตั๋วรถทัวร์ราคาเท่าไหร่ if the context is obvious you don't have to say รถทัวร์ you can just say the word ticket so ตั๋วราคาเท่าไหร่ and because it's obvious that you're talking about price you don't even have to say the word ราคา you could just say ตั๋วเท่าไหร่ so I'm just giving you full versions but then explaining that in real life we don't always say like that okay how long will the journey takeการเดินทางจะใช้เวลานานแค่ไหนการเดินทางจะใช้เวลานานแค่ไหน We need to book a hotel เราต้องการจองโรงแรมเราต้องการจองโรงแรมWe should hire a car เราควรเช่ารถยนต์เราควรเช่ารถยนต์ and this is another example I mean the context is obvious that you want to hire a car rarely would you specify it's a รถยนต์ you wouldn't really say the ยนต์ you just say เราควรเช่ารถ and that word รถ obviously means a car unless you knew by the context that you're meaning a van รถตู้ you're meaning motorcycle รถ motorcycle it's obvious by the context alright unit 20 final unit of this recording session modal verbs okay it's just coming over an hour okay so can you speak English the way that you say can in Thai I already talked about this but we'll do it once more is it's an either or you'll find a lot of these either ors in Thai or both so you can say สามารถ and then ได้ so คุณสามารถพูดภาษาอังกฤษได้ไหม or they could just say คุณสามารถพูดภาษาอังกฤษไหม or they might just say ได้คุณสามารถคุณพูดภาษาอังกฤษได้ไหม so there's variations depending on the formality or like you just learned you could also use the word เป็นคุณพูดภาษาอังกฤษเป็นไหม another possibility a quick point I can't remember if I've talked about this or not it's kind of similar to another point where I talked about หาหมอhere we have the word สามารถ okay so here we've got สา and then มาด okay สามารถ which means can or able so the point I'm going to make is that when you start speaking quickly, it will often just become สามารถ so here you will just say สะ without really any intention for a specific tone. Okay, just get the pronunciation SA in your head, right? คุณสะ and then say the มาด properly. So คุณสามารถ So my point is that you don't have to say the สามารถ. Of course, that's correct Thai if you want to be slow and proper about it. คุณสามารถ. Nothing wrong with that. But if you want to be a bit more quicker, you can just say สามารถ คุณสามารถพูดภาษาอังกฤษได้ไหม But keep in mind that when you're saying it in that way, it has to correspond with a sentence which is faster. So it wouldn't make sense if you said คุณสามารถพูดภาษาอังกฤษ I mean, if you're speaking slowly, you say each word correctly. But when you're speaking quickly, words can become compressed, but only if you're speaking it quickly. Okay, the way that you answer is by saying ได้ไม่ได้ So here just notice you don't have to repeat the whole phrase สามารถได้ like, you know, คุณสามารถพูดภาษาอังกฤษได้ไหม You can just say ได้ You don't need to say like สามารถได้ We don't answer like that. You just say ได้ or ไม่ได้ Will is the word จะ I'm sure you know that. So the answer is irrelevant to the tense in Thai. You just repeat the verb. Not in English. The word must is ต้อง The word should is ควร ตั้งใจ This is a good word to quickly touch on. ตั้งใจ literally meaning like, you know, to set your heart upon. To in English it's kind of like, you know, hard. To do something hard. To do something with all of your might. To do something diligently is to ตั้งใจ to do it. So if I said, you know, to my son, maybe he's practicing writing his ABCs and he's, you know, doing a messy job of it, I'll say, do it properly. So I'd say ตั้งใจเขียนสิ So ตั้งใจเขียนสิ and then a mood particle. Okay, what else is here? คุณอยากลองบ้างไหม The word try. Well, there's two words for try in Thai. There's the word long. This word long is like to have a go at, to try out, to have an attempt. It's like to experience it, to test, to try. Okay, because there's another try in English, which is in Thai, which is พยายาม. But here we wouldn't say คุณอยากพยายามบ้างไหม That'd be like, would you like to make an effort, you know, or attempt. So there's the word พยายาม which is try as in attempt, and then there's the word try as in to have a go at something. So here it's like, would you like to have a go at eating it, have a try. Used to, the word used to is also the same word for ever, as in like in the past. In Thai, they don't differentiate between a single event in the past and a habitual event or events or action. So in English, we separate between used to, like I used to be a chef, I used to live there, it was a long period of time, I was doing this regularly. But if I just want to say, I have eaten this squid before in this restaurant. Oh, that's just one specific time. That would be the word เคย. But in Thai, it's the same word. So used to or have once before are the same word in Thai. เคย. I'll make a point of that because I always have to explain that to Thais when teaching. Okay, so I think that's it. And that's the last slide. Oh yeah, okay. So we're almost finished. Here we go. Okay. Let's do some repetition. Here we go. Can you speak English? คุณสามารถพูดภาษาอังกฤษได้ไหม คุณสามารถพูดภาษาอังกฤษได้ไหม I keep thinking of lots of things to make a point of. You can also just drop the ภาษา You don't always have to say that. You can just say, คุณสามารถพูดอังกฤษได้ไหม so people might ask you, you know คุณพูดไทยได้ไหมคุณสามารถ I mean really formal คุณสามารถพูดภาษาไทยได้ไหม but if they were to shorten it in any way it might be, you know คุณพูดไทยได้ไหม or พูดไทยเป็นปะ so depending on how informal they want to be with you. Yes I can, no I can't ได้ไม่ได้ I think you know this by now. Will you go to school tomorrow พรุ่งนี้คุณจะไปโรงเรียนไหมพรุ่งนี้คุณจะไปโรงเรียนไหม And how do you answer? Well, you repeat the verb. Where's the verb? ไป or ไม่ไป would be how you answer, right? You must do your homework. คุณต้องทำการบ้านคุณต้องทำการบ้าน Quick test. การบ้าน is homework. What's the word for housework? Just change the word การ into งาน well then งานบ้าน I'm sure you got that. You should study hard. คุณควรตั้งใจเรียนคุณควรตั้งใจเรียน Remember what ตั้งใจ means? I mean literally to set your heart upon something, but what's another way to phrase that in English? Diligently, right? Do something diligently or with passion, with do it hard, I guess is one way. Would you like to try some? คุณอยากลองบ้างไหมคุณอยากลองบ้างไหม What's the other word for try? Try meaning attempt. พยายาม well done. I used to live there but now I don't. ผมเคยอยู่ที่นั่นแต่ตอนนี้ไม่ได้อยู่แล้วผมเคยอยู่ที่นั่นแต่ตอนนี้ไม่ได้อยู่แล้ว Okay. Woo! Oh, yes. Well done. Well done to everybody. Well done to me. I really hope you are enjoying these lessons and the way I do these videos. I think I said this before, like the reason I do these kind of videos in this way is like I want to give you more experiential, information, I should say, informative knowledge of the vocabulary and of the sentences and of the structure, because that's all pulling from my experience in not just learning the language but also teaching Thai's English, and there's a lot of overlaps with it. So because otherwise I could have just got an AI. There's so many videos out there, you know, which just use AI, and it's fine. It's one way to practice. It's just an AI which reads the words and reads the sentences. But I think there are still people out there who appreciate real humans who actually are relatable and can give you a first-hand experience of what it's like learning the language. So I hope I can bring this connection with you. I really enjoy doing this as much as it gives me a sore throat and I have to drink hot water like every 5 seconds. So, you know, forgive me. I think you've probably never seen somebody sip as much water as me, but I think I've got some sort of problem with my throat because you see, I'm losing my throat already. Congratulations, we have finished course 5 of 20, but the beginner level is only 8 courses. Yes, it is. Okay, so we have almost finished the beginner level. I do plan on getting them finished within the next few months. Obviously it depends on how much free time I have, but yeah, here we are. So this is the beginner level. We've just finished basic sentences. Our next course 6, is going to be some comprehensive vocabulary. So this is where I really just start to increase the size of your vocabulary quite substantially. And it's just going to be massive lists of words, and the point of the lesson isn't, okay, I watched this video, therefore I will know all the words. It's more of just an introduction. Here are all the words. Here's how they're pronounced. Here's some nuances about the meaning. And then the idea is that you print the flashcards, which I will include as the PDF, right? and then I'll give you ways that you can help that can help you to memorize them. All right, anyway, that's the next course. If you're still watching this now, I really do appreciate you watching it to the end, because I just keep saying the same thing every time, which is, if you like the video, don't forget to support. If you do that every time, thanks a lot. It really does help. And I'm just doing this as I want to give it to you. If you want to give back in any way that you like, I mean, the easiest way is to just like and share and comment, and perhaps I'll meet the threshold of YouTube and I can make a bit of ad revenue, right? So there's also payment links with the YouTube system. There's also other third-party websites. I've got a Patreon. If you want to join that, just $5 a month helps me. Well, if it does reach a substantial amount, it'll help me free up some time to actually allocate to making these videos. But as it is now, it is an encouraging support to see any kind of financial contribution. So it just helps me to make more videos with a smile on my face, knowing that somebody likes it and is even willing to contribute to my finances. Alright, ขอบคุณครับ เจอกันในคอร์สต่อไป Well done. Thank you for learning. Keep going. Don't forget to share any comments or thoughts or your experience, your progress in the comments. Really glad to get to know you. I think Jesse wants to watch a cartoon. You want to sit with Eddie? Come on.
I'm playing with...
This little guy wants to watch his cartoons.
I'm playing everything.
Yes, it's time. What are you doing? You playing?
Playing this.
Okay, wow.
I don't know why.
Okay, well he wants to watch videos now. Jesse, we need to say goodbye to everybody. Goodbye. Can you say สวัสดีครับ สวัสดีครับ Alright guys, it's time for cartoons. I will see you in the next course. สวัสดีครับ